If you don't feel safe with your spouse in any capacity,
Baby, all I want is you. Hey guys, welcome back to a dose of the Doomases. I'm Jay. This is my lovely husband, my handsome, fine husband. And today we're going to talk about marriage. I know we told y'all that we would discuss marriage and mental health. And today we're actually talking about relationships in general.
I was just going to say it's more...
Not necessarily marriage, but relationships in general. And I have my box. We're going to do pretty much like a Q&A. We're going to pull questions out the box. And today we're talking about trust in relationships. So in this box we have questions about trust. What is trust in a relationship? What does it look like to you? What does trust look like to you?
Relationship.
And anyone can answer the question, or we both can give our perspective. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
Ladies first.
So for me, trust in a relationship looks like security, safety, my husband listening to me and me being heard and seen, and communication.
What would like trusting you with my heart?
In that aspect, trusting me with your heart, looks like vulnerability.
So yeah, I guess man would be vulnerability, respect, loyal,
integrity, not worrying about if I share something with him and me trusting that information won't be shared with someone else, or behind my back he's a different person. Like if someone couldn't come to me and tell me that my husband did such and such, and I believe them because I trust that I know my husband, and there's just certain standards I hold him to. I feel like he wouldn't overstep those boundaries because I put my trust in him. And relationships are built off trust. You can't have a relationship without trust. If I say that I trust my husband and one night he's going to hang out with the guys, they going to the club or whatever, I'm not worried about if he's going to give his number to a girl that night or if he's going to be flirting with somebody else. I trust that my husband knows where his commitment is. And even if a woman was to come up to him and throw herself on him, I trust, again, that my husband knows the vows that he made and he's going to honor them. So, and that goes into insecurities too. So a lot of times, we say we trust our spouses or our partners, but then when they go out, we are at home worrying, or we feeling like, can I really trust him, or is he a man of his word? Is he really what he say he's at? Like, that has nothing to do with your partner. Those are your own insecurities that you need to deal with, whether it's from a previous relationship where you didn't properly heal from, so now you have trust issues and you're bringing it from that past relationship into the new relationship because you haven't healed and dealt with it. And a lot of times we can self-sabotage. We can sabotage our relationships because we haven't healed from the past relationship where we had trust issues. So yeah, that's what trust looks like to me. Being able to turn my back and know that my husband is who he say he is in front of me and behind my back.
So for a woman, so say hypothetically, your guy cheats on you. I know you can't speak for all women, but we can just say for you.
You going off the Q&A, but go ahead.
It's about trust.
Okay.
So, do you think you able to trust again if the guy cheated one time, or are you in the mind frame as that
Once a cheater,
once you
always
cheat,
cheater.
always
I
a
was just
cheater?
about to say. I was just about to say that. Like, yeah, people say once a cheater, always a cheater. They say never, and I haven't been in that situation. Where I can say, my husband or before we got married that he cheated on me and I found out and I stayed with him or I left. I can only say that. I can say what I would do, but I don't know unless I'm in that situation. But I don't believe that once a cheater is always a cheater. I do believe that a person can cheat one time and learn from their bad decisions, because I'm not going to say a mistake. But they could learn from, they can have the potential to learn from that bad decision and realize what they have and build that trust again and, you know, have a lasting, um, healthy, fulfilling relationship. So I think I would say I think I could, but it just, I guess it depends on the circumstances of the situations. I don't know. I can't say for sure, but we're gonna get another question out because we don't want to make this video too long. And we got quite a few questions. What is your idea of privacy versus
Versus,
secrecy? Is there a difference between privacy versus secrecy?
yeah, I think it's a difference. Like you can, I think everybody needs their own space or their own, I guess, time away from each other. Or
Say your spouse come to you and say, "Hey, I just heard such and such about you. Um, why wasn't I guess it depends on what it is. I guess why wasn't I made aware of this?" Um, and maybe you'll be responding and say, "Well, I felt like that was my personal privacy. I don't feel like it was a secret or something I felt like I had to disclose, but I felt like it was just I was being private versus keeping a secret." Maybe that's not a good example,
but like, so is it like, do you feel you have to share every detail of your date or your being with your spouse?
no. So that's thank you, because that kind of helps with what I was trying to say. I don't feel like I need to know all the details. If my husband come home and I'll be like, "Hey, babe, how was your day?" I don't feel like he should tell me everything from the time he left to go to work at 6:30 all the way down to when he had lunch, what he had for lunch, what this person, oh, such and such spoke to me today, or I had a conversation with, like, no. Like, some things can or should be kept private, or he has the right to his own privacy, and I shouldn't feel like, well, why you didn't tell me you saw such and such? Like, just say, I up, come across a friend in the store, and they be like, "Oh, I saw your husband yesterday," but he didn't tell me. I'm not about to come home and be like, "Why you didn't tell me you saw such and such? You trying to keep it a secret?" No, like, in that aspect, no.
Passwords or phones and stuff.
Passwords on phones, or just your phone in general, or say you going to take a shower and you want to have some alone time. Like, that's privacy. You should be able to go take a bath without your spouse feeling like they have to be in the bathroom with you. Or you should be able to leave the house and say, "Hey, babe, I'm going to have me some alone time." Without, yes, I know there's safety measures. Like, of course, my husband want to know for my safety reasons, but it's not because he's insecure and he feel like I'm going out to do something I ain't got no business to do. So he like, "Oh, you trying to keep a secret where you going?" No.
No,
But
I just ask her, let me know, text me once you make it to wherever you're going. Like I ain't gotta know exactly where you're going or. Well, yeah, I do in case something happen. Like she going to Walmart.
Right, but again, it's not because he don't trust me. He don't trust that what I'm telling him. It's not the truth.
People out here.
So it's like, yeah, I have the right to have some form of privacy. Like our partners, our spouses have a right. You don't have to know. We don't have to be together every day, all day, glued to each other's hip. Wherever you go, I go. Or you leaving the house and I gotta know every detail. You gonna say you gonna hang out with the guys? Y'all might hit a bar. I ain't gotta go. I ain't gotta know what bar y'all going to. Oh, I ain't gotta know when you going, how long you gonna be. Or I'm texting you like when you coming home. Don't be out too long. Like, where's the trust in the relationship? Again, we're our own individual people. We gotta have our own identity outside of each other. It's unhealthy actually when you always together, when you're always knowing every little detail about your partner, and you know, it's a fear kind of thing. It's a fear, and it's attachment styles. I'll talk about that in another video. I've been learning about that since I've been in therapy, about different attachment styles: anxious attachment, secure attachment, and avoidant attachment. And so when people usually, when they're anxious, it's because they don't fully trust you. So they don't trust that where you going, you're gonna be where you said you're going, or they don't even want you to go out the house, outside of them, or everything, you know, revolves around y'all doing stuff together as a couple, or you know, it's like you have no identity outside of your partner, and that's not healthy. So yeah, let's go to the next question because we're gonna get off in a tangent into some other stuff. So how important is trust in a relationship? I think I kind of touched on that a little bit. I was saying basically you don't have a relationship, can't build a healthy relationship without trusting your partner. Trusting that, first, trusting yourself. I learned about myself when it comes to certain things. I was having issues with trusting that, which trust kind of go with confidence too. Having confidence in myself that I was capable of doing certain things or showing up for myself in a certain way, or trusting that the decisions and choices that I was making for myself and my family were good choices or were, you know, sufficient. So I think trust first starts with you as an individual person, and then you come into a relationship and you trusting that your spouse has your best interest, trusting that they're not going to lead you astray or intentionally try to hurt you. Because if you have those issues, then I just don't think you should be with a person. If you feel like your partner is out to intentionally do you harm or, you know, sabotage the relationship, then yeah, that's not healthy and y'all don't need to be together.
Yeah, you should. If you don't feel safe with your spouse in any capacity,
and what does feeling safe look like for you?
like knowing that I have someone that's not gonna judge me,
Mm-hmm.
someone that I know loves me unconditionally, knowing that, like you said, it's not gonna hurt me intentionally. Like we all mess up from time to time, but
Makes us human, yeah.
But like you doing it intentionally, trying to hurt me.
And safe for me also means that I'm allowed to have a voice in my relationship. I'm allowed to speak my truth. I'm allowed to speak how I feel without the fear of, oh, is he going to leave me if I tell him this is how I feel about certain situations? Or is it going to be an argument if I bring this issue up that I feel like I have? Like creating that safe space in your relationship to communicate your feelings and not feeling afraid to speak and use your voice because again, how's he gonna respond, or what is he gonna think, or what is he gonna say? And it goes into people pleasing. And I've been learning that people pleasing come from our childhood. As kids, we aren't given safe spaces and voices to express our feelings to our mothers and fathers. So naturally we go into this people pleasing role where we feel like we got to do this or say this in order to receive love from our parents. And then we bring that into our relationship. We take that into adulthood in our relationships. Well, I got to do this to please my husband, or he's not going to love me, or he's not going to give me love. That's not love to begin with. If you feel like you have to betray yourself or sacrifice some parts of you, whether it's suppressing your voice, whether it's being afraid to express your feelings so that your partner will show you love or give you love, that's not love anyway. That's not healthy. And trust in a relationship is high on the list. I would say number 1 or 2 at least. Communication is up there too. So trust and communication, I feel like it go hand in hand. Next question. Your partner asks for your phone. What happens next? I'll read it. That's 2-part question. So if I ask you for your phone, what happens?
I give it to you. What you mean? Like.
And the next part of that question was, does your spouse have the password to your phone? And we do. We have each other password. It's been like that for a long time. I can remember, brief story time. I can remember when I worked in daycare, and I worked in daycare for like 10 years, and this was when we were living in Chicago, and his job was like literally 5 or 6 minutes from my job, so he would drop me off at work and then go to work, and then pick me up from work after he got off. And this particular day, I left my phone, and our house was like 5 minutes from my job, literally a circle. House, my job, and he'll go back to his job. But because we was running late, pressed for time, I left my phone at home, and I didn't realize until I got to work and went to look for my phone, like, oh, I left my phone at home. And I'm getting better, but my phone literally used to be glued to my hand. I'm getting more in the habit of being intentional about putting my phone down while I'm at home and just trying to break away from my phone. But this particular day, I left my phone at home, and I'm like, babe, I left my phone at home. Tell him what you did, babe.
I gave him my phone.
He gave me his phone. He gave me his phone for the whole work shift. And when I got into my job, I was telling my coworkers, I don't even know how it came up. But I don't know if they noticed.
You know how it came up. You went in there.
No, I did not.
Gave me his phone.
No, I didn't.
If your husband ain't doing that, he don't love you.
Bye. No, I didn't. I don't know if my coworker ended up seeing that that I had his phone, that I didn't have my own phone. And
she probably asked, you got a new phone?
She was like, your husband? I was like, yeah, I left my phone at home. I didn't realize I got to work. And my husband gave me his phone. They like, what? Your husband gave you his phone? And I'm like, yeah. I mean.
So this was my thought process. I'd rather her have some way to.
Granted, I didn't even have a way to contact him. I guess your coworker's phone numbers was in your phone. If I'd
rather her have a phone.
Because I had the babies too. We didn't have our babies.
To have a phone.
Yeah.
If that makes sense to any of y'all out there.
But I mean, at the same time, he still could have been like, don't go through my phone. But I had his password anyway. So it's like. But that just goes to show you he had nothing to hide. At the end of the day, if he had something to hide, he wouldn't have gave me his phone. And did I go through his phone? No, I didn't have no reason to. This man gave me his whole phone. So it's like, obviously, he ain't got nothing to hide. He, trusts me enough to give me his phone, to trust that I ain't going to snoop through his phone. And why would I go snoop through his phone? I didn't have a reason to. But yeah, I don't know how many people would do that. Like, not many people would, just freely give. Especially because we were still young. We were younger than then. We were probably...
You still young.
Well, no, I was like 30. So that ain't that young. Yeah, we was married at that point because we had Evan. I had Evan when I was 30. So we was probably like 31, 32, something like that. That just goes to show you, and it answers our question. Yes, we have each other password. And yeah, I feel like if you don't have nothing to hide, it's basically your reaction. If my husband come to me and say, hey, can I see your phone? If I be like reluctant, like, what you need my phone for? Then of course, he's probably going to be like, well, you got something to hide? Like, why can I have your phone? Versus, me saying, give me your phone. I want to go through your phone. Or you got something to hide. Like, No, I mean, if his phone ring and his phone is in here, I answer his phone. You know, whether it's his friend or his mom or whoever, you know, I'll be like, hold on for a second or whatever. He don't care about that, and I don't care either.
Well, I asked who it is calling because I might not want to talk.
Yeah, in that aspect, I usually tell him like, your phone ring is such so. Do you want me to answer? But other than that, yeah, it's no big deal for us. How do you feel about bathroom privacy? For me, I don't really care. If I'm in the shower and he's on the toilet,
that ain't gonna never happen.
Maybe I do care about that. I don't know, or that vice versa. Sometimes I'll come in the shower bathroom while he's in the shower, and I'll use, like, if I just gotta do, tinkle, then I'll go use the bathroom and he's in the shower.
Yeah, that's different.
And come right back out.
But you're not finna come in the bathroom while I'm in the shower and take a number two.
But I mean, I guess there are cases, like, what if you sick? What if you can't hold it and you can't get to the next bathroom? It's like...
got 3 bathrooms up in here.
I know, but I'm saying, what if you have, like, the diarrhea or something? You can't make it to the downstairs bathroom or the next bathroom.
Oh, you can. No, we not doing that. Like,
well, that's how he feel about bathroom privacy, which I get it. Some things.
If I'm handling business up in the bathroom, I don't want you just coming up in there. I got to concentrate. And then
okay, we got a few more questions because this video is getting kind of long. So, what characteristics did your partner exhibit that let you know you could trust them?
I mean, it was quite a few, but I would say what really hit it first when we moved down here, and then everything that could go wrong went wrong, and you still chose to hang in there with me and stick it out and fight and all that.
So they let you know that you could trust me?
Yeah, I knew you was down with me. You had my back. You were 10 toes down.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing. But that was like
that's
real
solidified.
Significant.
That was like a defining moment.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do a story time about that too when we moved to Georgia the first time in 2009, and everything that could go wrong. We're gonna be real transparent in that video too. But I can agree, because that was a rough season in our life where trust was tested, our faith was tested, and I could have easily been like, yeah,
you brought me down.
You on your own.
But go ahead to what you got to say about it.
But yeah, for me, I feel like my take on that is I usually, coming into any relationship, friendships, platonic relationships, romantic relationships, I feel like you should go into a relationship with trusting that person, because the person hasn't given you a reason not to. So I trust you until you give me a reason not to trust you. And then it's like, okay, let me kind of reel it in. Let me back up and assess some things. But for me, Earl, he was a man of his word. Like, he wasn't, and Earl was the type of person too,
straight
early
shooter.
On, right? He was straight, no chaser. What you see is what you get.
Straight shooter.
It wasn't like, if he told you something, that's just what it was. If I don't want to feel like being bothered with you today, I don't want to spend no time with you, that's what it was. I'm going to hang out with my guys, or, I just want to have some time to myself. That's what it was. So I really didn't have a reason not to trust him.
Now, whether she believed that I was going to hang out with friends.
I mean, there were times that I didn't, but that was my own insecurities. That had nothing to do with him. That was my own insecurities. It's just things that, I feel like I needed to see in order to, fully trust that he was a man of his word. But again, he didn't give me a reason not to trust him. So it was like, and if he said he was going to do something, he was a man of his word. So it was like, if we're going to kick it today, we kicked it that day. If he told me, hey, we're going to go out to eat this day, we're going to go to the movies, we usually did. 9 times out of 10, we did whatever he said we was going to do. It wasn't like he'll ghost me, or, I'll text him, he won't text back, or I'll call him, he not answering, or that wasn't his character at all. But when did you know you could trust your spouse? So I guess for me, like I said in the beginning, like I didn't have a reason not to trust him. So, he was a person of his word. If he said he was gonna do something, he did it. So it was early on in the relationship. This is the last question, guys. Why do you think it's hard to build trust in a relationship?
Why is it hard to build trust?
Mm-hmm. Why do you think it's hard to build trust? Or do you think it's hard to build trust in a relationship? I guess you could say that.
I don't think it's hard to build trust into a relationship because the relationship is fresh. You coming into it new. So whatever you put into it, you're gonna get out of it.
That's true. But so I can see why some may feel it's hard. Again, like I said before, if they coming in bringing baggage and unhealed parts of them from past relationships where they, the person cheated and mistreated and disrespected them, and instead of them taking the time to heal, where they can recognize these red flags as red flags and not pink flags, or wanting to turn those red flags into green flags, then I can see how it could be a challenge for them to build that trust.
Wait, you just lost red flags, pink flags to green flags.
No, I'm saying like people tend to ignore flags. Like people show sometimes. I'm not gonna say all the time because you hear stories where people be like, well, he just did a total 180 or 360 on me. He was not like that in the beginning. He was, charming and, he was, such a different person, but then he started to change. But a lot of times people show us those red flags be there. We just ignore them because we don't want to see them. We want to be in love. We want to feel the butterflies. And we want the fairy tale.
Everybody want to?
Yes, but sometimes people show their true colors in the beginning, but we ignore it. So a lot of times that's us. We have to take accountability for that. It ain't necessarily, yes, that don't mean they should just, treat you like anything or, not be trustworthy. But at the end of the day, you got to be accountable and say, hey, what parts of me that ignored, like what in me that made me ignore what they showed me? But yeah, that's what I mean by turning them red flags pink or green, because you want to see what you want to see. But at the end of the day, the person showed they couldn't be trustworthy because it's been cases where, he said he was going to do this, but he didn't do it. Or he said he was going to do that, he fell through. Or he told me he was going to come back and he ghosted me. So it's like we see those red flags. We just be like, or she. Because men, trust women and they don't. Women have red flags too. I'm not just saying men. But yeah, sometimes, we just give them chance after chance because it's like, oh, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. We make excuses for them. Or I want to give them a chance because, I'm lonely or I want to see where it goes. So it's like.
But so, do you think that. So, can you make a mistake and learn from that mistake? Or can a person constantly make mistakes? But they making different mistakes. They're not making the same mistake over and over again.
Like what? Give me an example. Because I'm the type of person, if you show me who you are, I have no choice but to believe you. But if it's like, okay, what's a mistake though? Because I feel like you have a conscience. We have a conscience. Some people do, some people don't, I guess. But I feel like I have a conscience. I'm self-aware. So it's like, if I'm in the middle of making a decision, I feel like I have ample enough time, or like my intuition, not my intuition, but my conscience is going to kick in and be like, now you shouldn't be doing that, or now you have a chance to make a different choice before you make that mistake.
Oh, so mistakes is, there's a lot of mistakes out there. Say like, for instance, I go out with the guys. And I come back in the house at 5 in the morning.
Okay, that one time I'm gonna give you. Okay,
it's a mistake.
What's your reason? What's your reason for coming in at 5?
I was having fun and I wasn't ready to come in.
That ain't no mistake. Then that was a choice.
I mean, but it's still a mistake. It's
a decision. It was a bad decision,
Anyway, it's still something that happened.
That I probably have to forgive you for, but it's not necessarily a mistake.
And then I don't do that again.
Okay. But then what's the next mistake?
The next thing could be I hate when my mind be blank. I'm trying to make it.
Because I just don't feel like mistakes are.
Well, maybe I shouldn't say mistake. It's whatever it is. It's
bad decisions, bad choices.
Okay, a bad decision, whatever. Like it's. I think a lot of stuff is forgivable as long as you don't constantly keep doing the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, we're learning. We're learning together. We're growing together. We're all a work in progress. We're not perfect people. We're going to make bad decisions. We're going to do things that are not in the best light or whatever. And it's up to you and your partner to, come to a place where you can forgive each other. You can move forward. But I just don't, it's just certain things. Certain things are deal breakers. You should have boundaries in place when it comes to certain things. There's no reason why last week you went out with the guys and you came in at 5 a.m. Then the following week maybe you stayed at home, but then you went out again with your coworkers the following week after that, and then you didn't come in till 3:30, 4 o'clock. Yeah. Oh, well, I was with the guys last time, so this time I was with my coworkers, so we was having, a little more fun and got carried away. Like, no, boundaries. At the end of the day, I don't care how much fun you have, how much a good time I get. Work is stressful, life can hit you at times, but at some point you gotta have respect. Has to be there. Boundaries have to be there. At the end of the day, I'm going home to my family. So it's like, yeah, there are things where, instances where we don't make sound decisions, but mistake after mistake after mistake. Or another thing, you say you maybe lost your temper or something like that, or couldn't control your emotions and said some things that you later on regretted. That could be like a different scenario. So yeah, it's forgivable depending on what it is. Again, like I say, there are some deal breakers. There are some things that I'm just not dealing with at this point in life, because I know what I deserve. I know my true value and my worth. So, and you should too. Not just women, men should know their worth too.
I know my worth. Because when the men's fed up.
But okay, guys, we're getting off into a tangent. This was good. I enjoyed it. What about you, babe?
It was cool. I got some other stuff to talk about later on in other videos. We gonna get to them.
We'll be hour-long videos messing around with him. But yeah, if y'all have any other questions about trust as it relates to relationships, or any other questions, any other topics y'all want us to talk about?
Because at this point, we've been 10 toes down for 20 plus years.
I said in some part of this video or the last video.
So we don't know everything. Yeah.
We're not experts. We don't pretend to be experts. We're not relationship coaches or gurus. We do have experience under our belt.
We have managed to be in this thing for 20 plus years.
And again, history does not equate with.
So we doing something right.
History does not necessarily, the years does not necessarily equate with.
No, we doing the work though.
Happiness. My motto is health over history. I like to think we have a pretty healthy relationship, healthy dynamic. And like you said, we're doing the work. So we do have some experience. We do have some insight that we like to share and help other couples and even individuals, even singles. Before you take that leap, if you maybe something we've said or we can share that may want you to reconsider or takes a little bit more time to yourself before you make that commitment. Because marriage is a huge commitment. We take it serious. We value marriage. We honor one another. We value our commitment to one another. We take our vows seriously. So if you all have any questions, any comments, please, please, please like, comment, subscribe.
Yes, sir.
And we'll see y'all in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.